Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. There's something incredibly simple that almost all of us do each morning, sometimes without even thinking about it. We drink a glass of water. It's quick, easy, and sounds completely healthy. But have you ever asked yourself, could this seemingly harmless habit actually be making my body feel tired, and I just don't realize it? Or, what if just a few small changes to how you drink water in the morning could help you feel more energized, clearer in your mind, and more comfortable in your stomach throughout the day? And the biggest question of all, if the habits you followed for decades no longer suit the body you have now, would you be willing to make a small adjustment just to feel a little better each morning? I'm not here to give you strict rules. I just want to walk with you, to help you listen to your body, and to understand that sometimes even a tiny change, like the temperature of your water, the pace you drink it, or the type of cup you use, can make a big difference. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 mistakes that many people, especially those over 60, often make when drinking water first thing in the morning. These small things can affect your blood pressure, digestion, energy levels, and even your mood throughout the day. What's special is that I won't just talk about the mistakes. Each part will include a real-life story about people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, just like you, like me, like the friendly neighbor next door, and how they made small changes to feel healthier and more at ease. If you've ever felt sluggish in the morning, bloated even if you didn't eat much, or simply don't find mornings refreshing anymore, then this video is for you. Are you ready to start your day a little more gently? When Dorothy turned 72, she started noticing small changes, things she never used to pay attention to. Each morning, right after waking up, she walked straight into the kitchen, pour herself a glass of cold water from the fridge, and drink it all in one go. It was part of her morning ritual, like how some people drink coffee or turn on the radio. But lately, something didn't feel right. Some mornings, her stomach would twist slightly after drinking. Sometimes, she'd feel a wave of nausea, or her heart would beat a little too fast for comfort. Dorothy tried adjusting her breakfast, checked her blood pressure, even cut down on salt, but nothing really helped. The strange part? These uncomfortable sensations only lasted about 1 or 2 hours in the morning. Then they'd disappear. She'd go about her day, walking, gardening, calling her daughter, as if nothing had happened. One day, during her routine checkup, the doctor asked about her morning habits. When she mentioned drinking cold water first thing, the doctor gave a gentle nod and said, "Dorothy, the issue might not be with your body. It might be how you're waking it up." That surprised her. It's just water, she thought. How can water be the problem? After 60, the body is like a wise old machine. It still runs, but it needs a softer start. What Dorothy and many older adults don't realize is this. Morning is the most delicate time of day for the body. After a full night's rest, your body is like a car engine that's just starting up. Your heart rate is still low. Your blood pressure is adjusting. Your hormones are shifting, and your digestion is still asleep. Water is good, of course, but drinking it the wrong way, too cold, too fast, or too much, can actually overwhelm your system at that fragile moment. Imagine a delicate flower just opening in the morning sunlight. It needs warmth, softness, and a gentle breeze. But if you were to pour a bucket of freezing water on it, it wouldn't die, but it would shrink back, stressed and startled. Your body reacts the same way. Even clear, clean, healthy cold water can cause the stomach to contract, narrow your blood vessels, and put your system into alert mode. And for someone over 60, whose organs have been working hard for decades, that sudden shock takes more time to recover from. It's just water, we say, but it's also how we speak to our body. I see you. I'll be gentle. After that doctor's visit, Dorothy made one small change. She started filling a pitcher with filtered water the night before and leaving it on the counter. In the morning, she drank that room temperature water, taking small sips instead of big gulps. At first, she didn't notice much, but within a week, the nausea faded. Her stomach stopped cramping, and most surprisingly, she felt calmer when starting her day. She told her granddaughter, "It's just a glass of water, honey, but drinking it differently. It's like changing an alarm clock I use to wake up my body. It's softer now, kinder, So why don't we think about this sooner? Because for most of our lives, we've been told drink more water and stay hydrated. And that's good advice. But no one ever told us that after 60, how you drink water matters just as much as how much you drink. The truth is, water didn't change. Our bodies did. And after so many years of carrying us, healing for us, working without rest, our bodies deserve to be treated with tenderness. So tomorrow morning, if you still reach for that cold glass of habit, that's okay. But maybe try something different. Let the water sit out. Pour it slowly. Sit up. Take a deep breath. Sip it gently. Not because there's a rule to follow, but because it's a way to say, I've carried this body through a lot, and now I want to start treating it the way it deserves to be treated. Leonard's story. Leonard is the kind of person who always gets up early, even after retirement. A former postal worker, he kept his routines intact. Up at 6 a.m., a short walk around the block, and then straight to the kitchen for a glass of ice-cold water from the fridge. He'd been doing it for decades. That's how I kickstart this engine, he used to say with a proud smile, patting his belly. But for the past year, something felt off. Some mornings after drinking, Leonard felt lightheaded. Other times, his hands would get cold, or his stomach would cramp up slightly. He thought it might be the weather or just getting old, as he called it. But then he noticed something strange. It only happened after drinking his morning water. Then one March morning, things became clearer. When a small reaction is actually a big signal. That morning was chilly. Leonard came home from his walk, opened the fridge, poured a glass of cold water, and drank it down like usual. Within minutes, as he was wiping the counter, a wave of dizziness hit. His heart pounded, and he grabbed onto the edge of the table for support. Cold sweat beaded on his forehead. He sat down quickly, breathing slowly, and after a few minutes, the feeling passed. He wasn't scared. Not exactly. But something inside him knew. His body had just spoken clearly. Later, he told his son, who's a general practitioner, what had happened. His son gently asked, "Dad, you're drinking that cold water right after walking and before eating, right?" Leonard nodded. His son smiled slightly. "Then you're basically shocking your system awake every morning. But your system isn't 45 anymore, Dad. Cold water isn't the enemy, but timing matters." What really surprised Leonard was that the issue wasn't complicated at all. When you drink very cold water, especially first thing in the morning, your digestive system and blood vessels contract rapidly. Your heart has to work harder, and your nervous system kicks in. For people over 60, whose bodies recover more slowly, this sudden shock can cause feelings of lightheadedness, chills, or even heart flutters. And cold water also slows digestion by cooling down internal organs and disrupting enzyme activity, making you feel bloated, sluggish, or oddly foggy throughout the morning. A simple experiment with surprisingly good results. After that conversation, Leonard decided to try one small change. Instead of fridge cold water, he filled a glass the night before and left it on the counter. The next morning, he drank it slowly, not gulping, not rushing. Just room temperature, gentle sips. On the first day, he noticed nothing dramatic, but after 3 days, he felt a difference. His stomach no longer tightened and his hands stayed warm. And the best part? He no longer felt that vague sense of morning fatigue that had haunted him for months. "It's strange," he said to a friend. "I'm drinking the same water, but now it feels like it's waking me up instead of slapping me awake." So here's a small question for you. Is your morning glass of water helping you, or quietly making things harder? Sometimes we hold on to habits just because they used to work, but our bodies after 60 are constantly changing. And being wise doesn't mean doing more. It means knowing when to adjust. Cold water isn't bad, but save it for a hot afternoon after gardening or walking, when your body is ready for it. In the morning, give yourself warmth. Give yourself time. Give your body a chance to wake up slowly, like Leonard did. Because sometimes what helps isn't something new. It's just doing familiar things more gently. Paul's story. Paul, at 70, took pride in being disciplined. After retiring, he moved from New York to a quiet suburb in Vermont to be closer to his daughter. Life there was peaceful, no rush, no noise, and Paul finally had time to focus on his health. Each morning, right after waking up, Paul drank a full 500 milliliters bottle of water. Quickly, in one go. He believed he was doing something great for his body. "I'm flushing out the system," he'd say proudly. But something strange started happening. Over several months, he began to feel oddly uncomfortable in the mornings. Sometimes he'd feel bloated, other days slightly dizzy. Even though he slept well and ate clean, he often felt off the first hour or two of the day, and he had no idea why. Until one ordinary morning became a wake-up call. One morning, after drinking his usual bottle of water, Paul felt his heart beating a little too fast. There was a light pressure in his chest and an odd sensation in his upper stomach, like his body was trying to push back. He sat down near the window and breathed slowly, trying to figure out. That's when something clicked in his mind. Maybe I'm asking too much of my body too soon. Later, he called Carla, an old friend and former nurse. After hearing the details, she gently said, "Paul, are you flooding your stomach like it's a sink first thing in the morning?" He laughed, then went quiet, because in truth, he was. The morning body needs a stream, not a flood. Here's what most people don't realize. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is waking up slowly. Your digestive system, blood vessels, and nervous system are all in warm-up mode. When you suddenly pour a large amount of water into your system, especially when your stomach is still empty, it stretches the stomach too quickly, triggers bloating, and puts your organs into overdrive. Your heart speeds up. Your kidneys start working harder. Your electrolyte balance can shift. You might not feel it right away, but especially for older adults, these little imbalances can make the whole morning feel off. A simple change, huge difference. After that conversation, Paul decided to slow things down. Instead of drinking all at once, he poured the same 500 milliliters into a glass and sipped it over 20 minutes while getting ready for breakfast. On day 1, he still felt the habit urge to chug, but he resisted. By day 3, the bloating had stopped. By day 5, he no longer felt dizzy or oddly fatigued in the mornings. And by the end of the week, he said something powerful. "I didn't need more energy. I just needed to stop overwhelming my system." Ask yourself this tomorrow. Are you hydrating or drowning your body? We often think more water equals more health, but the pace matters. If you tend to drink a full glass or bottle in one go, feel tired, dizzy, or bloated in the mornings, experience a weird heartbeat or unsettled stomach, try slowing down. Let your body wake up slowly. Sip instead of chug. Give it time to receive the water, because sometimes wellness isn't about doing more. It's about doing the same thing with more care. Paul now jokes that he's the water sipping coach for his retirement group. Anytime someone mentions feeling strange after waking, he smiles and asks, "Are you gently offering water to your body or attacking it with a fire hose?" Helen's story. Helen, at 76, is the kind of person who lives by order. Her home is always spotless. Everything has its proper place, and she hates waste. For her, convenient and efficient is the perfect combination. That's why she had a long-standing habit, one she kept for more than 10 years. Every night before bed, she'd fill a plastic water bottle from the kitchen filter, tighten the cap, and place it on her bedside table. In the morning, she'd reach over, twist the cap, and drink it down in a few gulps. No need to walk to the kitchen. No waiting for water to run. It felt smart, simple, and safe. Her daughter, a city-dwelling health enthusiast, once suggested switching to a glass or stainless steel bottle. Helen chuckled. "Oh, honey, I washed this one thoroughly. I've used it for years. It's just water." But over time, things began to change. When your body whispers, not shouts. At first, Helen noticed she was more tired in the mornings. Even after a full night's sleep, she'd wake up feeling a little foggy, a bit bloated, sometimes even slightly nauseous. Some mornings, the area under her eyes looked puffy. Her stomach felt unsettled, like she'd eaten something too rich the night before, even though dinner had been light. What puzzled her most was this. When she stayed at her daughter's house and drank fresh water from a glass, she felt completely normal. During a nutrition checkup, her doctor asked about her hydration habits. When Helen mentioned using an old plastic bottle kept by a warm lamp on her nightstand, the doctor paused. "Did you know that plastic, especially when heated, can release chemicals into your water?" he asked gently. Helen's face changed. When convenient becomes chemical, most people assume plastic is safe, especially if it's labeled BPA-free. But not all plastics are created equal, and time plus heat equals trouble. Overnight, especially near warm lights or in a stuffy room, plastic bottles can start releasing chemicals into the water. Some of these substances, like BPA and its chemical cousins, are known as endocrine disruptors. They mimic or interfere with your natural hormones. And for older adults, whose hormonal balance is already more sensitive, that small daily dose can cause symptoms like morning fatigue, bloating, mild headaches, mood swings, brain fog. The worst part? You don't always notice it immediately, but it builds up sip by sip, day by day. One tiny swap, big difference. After learning all this, Helen didn't rush out to buy fancy equipment. She made one change. She replaced the old plastic bottle with a glass cup. Each morning, she poured herself fresh water, room temperature, right from the kitchen. She kept it away from light and heat. Simple. Within a week, she noticed something surprising. No more puffiness. No more heavy stomach. Her energy returned. Her mind felt clearer. Her mood? Much lighter. She laughed with her granddaughter. It wasn't the weather or age or sleep. It was that little bottle playing tricks on me. So here's a simple question. What's your water stored in? And is it really serving you? Water is life. But when stored in the wrong container, left too long, or exposed to heat, it can quietly become something your body has to clean up instead of benefit from. Your liver, kidneys, and hormones are already working hard. Especially after 60, they need less burden, not more. So if you're drinking from a reused plastic bottle that's been sitting on your nightstand all night, maybe it's time for an upgrade. Glass, ceramic, stainless steel, something fresh. It's a small switch, but for Helen, it changed how her mornings felt and gave her body a sigh of relief. Gregory's story. Gregory, at 78, is a former Marine. He's lived a disciplined life, structured, consistent, and by the book. Even in retirement, he followed routines to the minute. Every morning at 6 a.m. sharp, Gregory would take his thyroid and blood pressure medication with a full glass of water. About 10 minutes later, he'd eat a tidy breakfast. Eggs, toast, fruit. No extras, no indulgence, nothing unpredictable. He believed he was doing everything right. But in recent months, something felt off. Some mornings he experienced mild nausea. Other days, he felt lightheaded or like his stomach was turning. At first, he blamed aging or assumed maybe his meds needed adjusting. But his blood work was normal, his diet clean, and his sleep regular. It made no sense. Until a conversation changed everything. During a visit with his endocrinologist, Gregory detailed his routine. When he proudly mentioned taking pills with a full glass of water and eating shortly after, the doctor nodded thoughtfully and said, "That might be the problem." Gregory looked confused. "It's just water," he replied. The doctor smiled. "Yes, but the timing and amount matter more than most people realize, especially in the morning. The stomach in the morning is like a quiet room. It doesn't like being rushed or flooded. What many don't know is that the stomach lining is very sensitive upon waking. Acidity levels are high, the gut hasn't fully warmed up, and hormones are still adjusting. When you swallow medication, especially thyroid meds or certain supplements, then immediately follow it with a full glass of water and food, the stomach can go into shock. It might flush the medication too quickly, trigger nausea or reflux, disrupt digestion or absorption, or simply leave you feeling unsettled and off balance. And if you're taking medication meant for an empty stomach but eat right after or drink too much water, you're actually reducing the effectiveness of the drug. One small shift and clarity returned. With that insight, Gregory made a subtle change. He began taking his medication with just a few sips of warm water, enough to swallow the pills comfortably. Then he waited at least 30 to 45 minutes before eating. No rushing, no large glass, no pressure. And the result? In less than a week, his morning nausea disappeared. The bloating eased. His mind felt clearer, calmer. He told his daughter, "For the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was fighting my body before breakfast." A gentle reminder. It's not just what you take, but how and when you take it. Especially after 60, your digestive system doesn't bounce back like it used to. Flooding your stomach with water and food right after medication can feel like asking a tired orchestra to play a full concert before they've even tuned their instruments. So if you often feel nausea after meds, lightheadedness or discomfort, or a general sense of being off in the mornings, it might not be the pills. It might be how you're introducing them to your body. Try this tomorrow. Take your pills with just a small sip or two. Sit quietly for a while. Wait before eating or drinking more. This isn't about being stricter. It's about being kinder to the systems that have supported you for decades. Just like Gregory discovered. Sometimes, the solution isn't more medication or bigger changes. It's just a little more patience and a little more gentleness. Carol's story. Carol, at 69, is what her daughter calls young at heart. She's active, loves reading, goes on afternoon walks, and always keeps up with the latest wellness trends. Intermittent fasting, green smoothies, no sugar challenges. She's tried them all. Last year, she read a popular article promoting the idea of skipping breakfast and drinking water until noon as a way to detox and lose weight. She thought, why not? So she stopped eating breakfast. Every morning, she drank 2 to 3 glasses of water, did her household chores, and waited until lunch to eat. At first, it felt good. Her stomach felt flatter. She wasn't bloated. It seemed like her body was responding well. But then things started to shift. The quiet signs of undernourishment. She began forgetting small things. Where she put her keys, what day it was, what she'd already told her friends in their weekly book club. She started feeling more irritable, less focused, and strangely tired by mid-morning, even though she had slept well the night before. Some mornings, she felt shaky. Her hands trembled a little when pouring water, and mentally, it felt like she was walking through fog. Her daughter, a therapist, gently asked, "Mom, are you still skipping breakfast?" Carol smiled proudly. "Yes, just water until noon. It's clean and simple." Her daughter paused and said, "Mom, your body may need a different kind of simple right now. Water alone can't fuel a body that's already been fasting all night. The truth is, after 8 to 10 hours of sleep, your body has already gone through a natural fast. Your brain needs glucose to think clearly. Your muscles need protein and nutrients to stay strong. Your hormones, especially after 60, are more sensitive to stress, hunger, and imbalance. Drinking only water might feel light at first, but for older adults, it can cause low blood sugar, brain fog, weakness, mood swings, and even memory slips. The worst part? Many people blame these symptoms on age or stress, when in fact, it's just a lack of morning nourishment. A simple breakfast, and the brightness returned. Carol's daughter suggested a small breakfast. Not a big meal, just a light one. 1 boiled egg, a slice of toast, a few apple slices. Carol agreed to try it for a week. On the 3rd day, something shifted. Her focus came back. Her hands stopped trembling. She felt like herself again. "It wasn't a miracle," she later said. "It was just my body finally getting what it needed." Now, Carol still drinks water in the morning, but she pairs it with something solid, something real. She doesn't need a feast, just enough to say, "Hey, brain, here's some fuel. Let's do this day together." So ask yourself this tomorrow. Are you feeding your body or just following a trend? Water is wonderful, but it's not food, especially in the morning. Your body needs both hydration and nourishment. You don't need pancakes and bacon, but you do need something. a few almonds, a spoon of yogurt, a slice of banana. If you've been skipping breakfast and feel foggy, fatigued, or unusually down, it might not be your age. It might just be your body asking for breakfast. As Carol discovered, staying healthy isn't about following every trend. It's about staying connected to what your body is asking for, especially as it gets wiser, slower, and more sensitive with time. When you begin your morning with gentleness, your whole day feels different. Together, we've walked through 5 habits that may seem small, barely noticeable at first, but that can quietly take a toll on your well-being after age 60. And all of them center around something as basic and essential as water. Who would have thought that water, the thing we've been told all our lives is good for us, could cause discomfort, fatigue, or brain fog simply because of how we drink it? But that's the message, isn't it? It's not that water is bad. It's that our bodies have changed, and how we treat them needs to change too. These are not problems of weakness. They're signals of wisdom. Because our bodies, after decades of carrying us, protecting us, healing us, are finally asking for a little more care, a little more slowness, a little more kindness. And the good news is that kind of change is easy. It doesn't take pills or programs. It just takes attention. Let's look back for a moment. When Leonard switched from ice-cold water to room temperature, his stomach relaxed and his energy returned. When Paul stopped chugging water and began sipping slowly, his mornings stopped feeling rushed and heavy. When Helen swapped her old plastic bottle for a fresh glass, her mind cleared and her body stopped fighting hidden toxins. When Gregory stopped overwhelming his stomach with too much water after medication, his balance and clarity returned. And when Carol brought back a light breakfast alongside her morning water, her focus, mood, and sense of self came alive again. These weren't huge lifestyle overhauls. They were simple shifts. Each one began with the same choice, to listen a little more closely to the quiet voice of the body. And together, they tell us something beautiful. Your body doesn't need to be managed. It just needs to be welcomed. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, how will you greet yourself? Will you flood your system with cold water, or offer it a gentle sip of warmth? Will you rush through hydration like it's a chore, or sit for a moment and treat that first glass like a quiet good morning? Will you skip food in the name of discipline, or offer your body a small, loving meal to say, here's something to hold you up today? These aren't rules. They're invitations. Small questions that, if answered with care, can change the entire tone of your day. Because when the body feels safe, it works better. When the mind feels supported, it clears up. When the heart feels respected, it softens. And isn't that what we all want, especially now? Not to fight ourselves, but to walk gently with this incredible vessel that's carried us through so much. Liking this message? Tap the like button. It helps others find it too. If this video spoke to you, please consider giving a like and subscribing. You never know who around you, your friend, your neighbor, your sibling, might be quietly dealing with the same struggles every morning and not know why. And if you feel like sharing, drop a comment below. Have you tried changing how you drink water in the morning? What helped your mornings feel easier? Which one of these 5 tips surprised you the most? I read every comment. Truly. And I love hearing your stories. Thank you for spending this time with me. You deserve clarity. You deserve ease. You deserve mornings that feel like new beginnings, not battles. So take care of yourself, because your comfort matters. Your clarity matters. And you matter more than you know. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep learning how to care for ourselves with curiosity, kindness, and courage.